What's up? So I decided, I was on a long walk home today from work, and if you can recall, I had said on the show that I was going through a little back end stuff, and essentially, I'm in a position where I have been. I won't say have been. I'm in a position where I have to move out. You may not have known this. Some of you have. For about a year now, I've been living with my mom. This is my mom. I'm living with her. And, it's been hard because I have to honestly say that it's an embarrassing situation to be in, especially when you're hosting a show. And, I had the men show, and I'm telling people how to be men and telling people how to make money and all of that. And the reality is the things that I told you were from experience. And my whole point of doing it was to get people to men in particular. I have nothing against women. I have 3 daughters, but having the 3 daughters, I was trying to get men to be in a position where they were men, number one, that would take care of my daughters the way I didn't for their mother. So, that's neither here nor there, but I did these shows as a way for me to put it out there in hopes that I get feedback from people and know how to do things or know that I'm on the right path for certain things. I have a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, because I grew up fast, I don't get me wrong, I grew up a kid. Had my parents in the beginning until they divorced when I was around 7. But when I turned between 20 and 21, I went from being a young man who graduated from a prep school, went to college for a semester, was living with his mom, working at the bank, which was my very first job since 15, and I still had that job. So I was doing well for myself. And I went from that to getting involved with someone who had 2 children, who I love very much, don't get me wrong, and not really knowing how to handle that, so just doing everything by trial and error and following her lead. And essentially, I didn't grow up the way that you should grow up as a man. I think the general progression is to, you're growing up, and go to high school, and you go to college, and you get out of college, you get a place, you experience things, and then you're ready to settle down, you have your girlfriend or whatever, y'all have kids, you buy a house. I think that's the stereotypical general progression, but at the same time, that's how the system is built for you to do that. It's been crashed now, but generally that's what the system is built on. So I didn't get to do that. I went from being a young man living with his mom to moving in with someone who had 2 kids and she was pregnant with our child. So I became a daddy like that. Went from young to old like that. In my 20s, I had accepted the responsibility of being a daddy, and really didn't live life as a 20-year-old. Like I watch my daughters do, traveling the world and things like that. I did that when I was younger, but as far as me doing it for myself, me sponsoring my own trips and doing it for myself, I didn't get the opportunity to do that. So fast forward to now, it's being divorced from said woman, and kids are grown, being an empty nester, living with my mom's. I'm like back at the starting point. And it's crazy because now that I'm a lot older and wiser, I can see a little clearer. For the most part, you know how people say, if I would have knew then what I know now, that's where I'm at right now. I'm actually living that. where I can actually say, I knew then, so I'm going to apply it now. And, I'm 44 years old. Some might say that's a little too late. Some might say, it's never too late. I'm in that group. It's never too late. But to get back to why I'm talking, so now I'm at a position where I have to find a place for myself. And I'm teetering on where to be. If you know me well enough, I move around all the time. And that comes from growing up in an Air Force family, being an Air Force brat. Moving from Massachusetts to Connecticut to North Dakota and Minnesota, back to Connecticut. Then me personally, I lived in different parts of Connecticut. And Florida, Virginia twice, Kansas, California. I moved all over the place. And I don't know whether I like that, because it actually isn't too bad. It's always a start over, but I've experienced a lot of different things and met different people, and it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. But anyway, so right now what I'm trying to figure out is whether I'm going to stay here in Massachusetts. Am I going to move back to Connecticut? Or am I going to move to North Carolina, which is what I ideally would like to do out of the three. So I'm here, I'm taking all these notes and looking up different places, and it's a situation, man. But I figured, let me go ahead and turn the camera on and record so y'all get the back end of what it is that I'm doing. Because I laugh and joke on the camera, and that's my release, that's my therapy, but to be honest with you, I'm going through my share of shit, just like anybody else. And I think that with the InkyMann show, my whole point of that show is to show you that I do go through things, but this right here is a lot deeper than I generally point out, which is why I'm making this like a separate issue, a diary, if you will. Those who watch my show see that it's a diary. You see the date flash by, the time that I recorded it. Some people get it confused. It's not, that's the time I want it to come out. That's the day I recorded it and the time that I recorded it. And so I figured, let me get a little deeper with this. Still got my flag flying in the back and all that stuff, but for the most part, you're seeing me for who I am. And you might ask, well, why are you doing this? And again, it's to give you the back office of the InkyMann show, as well as I know that there are people out there just giving its experience right here. Just being in Massachusetts, as a matter of fact, a lot of people are in my age group are a little older, and they've moved back in with their parents and they're trying to get it together, or they're sticking around because they're trying to take care of their parent. Me personally, I just need to get my shit together, and that's where I'm at right now. So I just wanted to say that, and stay tuned, because this isn't the end. This is just the first entry of the journal. Hopefully I didn't bore you with anything that I said. I'll see y'all tomorrow.